Wake up in the grind, clock ticking, 20 minutes flat, freedom main-handed knives built with the...
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the 20-Minute Freedom Project. I'm Josh, and before we get into it today, I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas on this Christmas Eve. And before you turn out because you think maybe it's going to be one of those soft sitting, like by the fire, joyful, feel good, cozy holiday messages, that's not what this one is going to be about. Episode is about comfort and pushing to the next level, even with the holiday season. And it's about freedom, because Christmas and the holidays in general have a way of doing something that slows us down when we're not paying attention. Because when it slows you down, it softens the edges. It wraps life in nostalgia and tradition with family and food. And if you're not intentional, it convinces you that where you are is good enough. That next year we will handle all the hard stuff. Or just because it's just about time for those New Year's resolutions, worry about it then. That January will bring your discipline and somehow it'll just all work out. Comfort is the most socially accepted form of self-sabotage. And today, in this holiday season and on this Christmas Eve, it's a marker, a checkpoint, a line in the sand between where you've been and where you're going and who you will become. So today we're going to go through 3 different things. We're going to go through gratitude, the real kind, and we're going to expose the trap that keeps so many people stuck. And we're going to decide what the next 30 days are actually going to look like for each and every one of us. We're not hyping it up. We're not trying to sell anything. We're just going through the raw truth. Because your freedom doesn't come just because it's a new year. It comes from you making decisions and making deliberate actions on those decisions. So let's start where we should. Gratitude. Not that fluffy version. Not I'm grateful because it's Christmas and I'm supposed to be. Or it's that time of year where we celebrate Jesus' birthday. I'm talking about earned gratitude. The kind that I'm talking about comes from knowing how hard this past year was. Because if you are listening to this right now, somewhere along the line this year, you have survived something. You've carried pressure most people never saw, or you never let them see. You made decisions without guarantees. You took action on things that were not set in stone, didn't know it was going to happen. And you failed at something you cared about. You showed up tired. You showed up sick. You held your business together. You held your family together when things felt uncertain. Whatever it was, that mattered. Gratitude isn't pretending everything was perfect. Gratitude was recognizing that you did not quit. There is a study out of UC Davis showing that people who practiced intentional gratitude, not just passive, willy-nilly, whenever it feels good, experienced higher resilience, lower stress, and a greater long-term goal adherence, because gratitude anchors everything in your reality. You're not trying to go off fantasy and everything is perfect and everything is going to be just peachy. It says, this was hard and I'm still standing. I'm still here. I'm still pushing. And that's important because freedom starts with the truth. You cannot measure what you don't manage, or you cannot manage what you do not measure. But here's where a lot of people tend to mess this up. They confuse gratitude with settling. They say, I should be grateful because I have X, Y, and Z. And they use that as an excuse to stop growing. I can remember that it didn't get used too much on me in particular or in our family. It was that the kids in Africa would love to have that. so eat it. Maybe that was something you didn't like. Maybe you hadn't tried that yet, so you just assumed that you didn't like it. That is likely where that came from. And your parents told you that in some form, or you've heard that it has been said to someone. But that is not gratitude. That's fear wearing a Santa hat. Real gratitude sounds like this. I'm grateful for how far I've come. And I refuse to disrespect that process by staying the same, staying in the same location, not growing, and staying in my own little area. You can hold gratitude in one hand and ambition in the other. You have come so far. It might not have been perfect, but you did it. You refused to settle. You refused to quit, especially when the going got hard. You gave your kids, your family, your employees, your friends the example of someone who pushes through, does what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, and especially when you feel like quitting. Now let's talk about the trap. It's the holiday comfort trap. Your routines loosen, your schedule disappears, you start sleeping in way too late, you stop doing things that you normally would, you start taking off days and letting your foot off the gas. Your discipline takes a break. And listen, I know reset and rest matters, and recovery matters. Time with your family matters. But your comfort, unchecked comfort, rewires your identity. James Clear from Atomic Habits says every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. But here is the problem. The holidays don't just give you a change of schedule and a way to take a break and let your foot off the gas. They can open up old habits and reinforce those habits that you have chose to leave in the past. Those ones that the average person is happy with staying average. Maybe it's the late nights, the extra drinks. Maybe you're skipping the workouts. Maybe you're slacking on work. Back to the thing of saying about taking your foot off the gas. Maybe the I'll get back on track later, or I'll fix it tomorrow. And if you are not aware, those small decisions start stacking up. Not physically, but towards your identity. You stop seeing yourself as the person who shows up, and you start seeing yourself as the person who you used to be. With a person that is happy with mediocre life. And here's the dangerous part. You're telling yourself it's just a couple weeks. Neuroscience tells us that habits don't just disappear. They hibernate. There are studies out of MIT that show habit loops never erase. They pause. They wait for the trigger, and then they come and pop back out. And the holidays are a perfect trigger. The neural pathways in your brain for those habits of the old you, or the person that you've decided recently or many, many, many times or years ago that you don't choose to be anymore. Those decisions don't no longer, yes, you're creating new neural pathways in your brain as you build new habits. But the old ones are still there. They might become like an old road that you've ever seen back in the country, where it becomes overgrown and full of weeds. The grass starts taking over. Maybe there's a tree in the middle. But it's still there. That path is still there. Maybe you're taking time. You're spending too much time on the couch. You have the same people around you. You feel comfortable. You have food. You have conversations. Same patterns. That's why so many people wake up on January 1st feeling heavy, not just physically, but mentally. Because deep down they know they didn't rest, or they didn't just take a break. They retreated. And freedom doesn't come from falling back into your old habits. It comes from making new ones, creating new pathways in your brain that will lead you to becoming the person that you want to become, that you are driven to become, to create the life that you've always wanted. Your next 30 days are already being decided, not by your New Year's resolutions, by your motivation, not by your January reset. They're being written by what you are doing from day to day right now. because momentum doesn't care about calendars. If you end December passively, January doesn't magically make you more disciplined. If you end the year avoiding hard conversations, the new year won't make those conversations go away, and they won't make you more courageous. The Stoics talk about this thousands of years ago. Seneca said, "While we wait for life, life passes us by." And that's what comfort does. It convinces you there's time. Freedom is built by those who understand this. Delay is a decision. And today, Christmas Eve, isn't about hustle. It's about honesty. So let me give you a framework. Not to fluff. We're not trying to overwhelm you. Just truth and action. Number 1, review. What did you really improve this year? Not what you intended to, not what you talked about. What did you actually change? Your body, your marriage, your leadership, your income, your discipline, maybe your business. Be brutally honest with your answers, because clarity creates the leverage you need to make that change. Number 2 is release. What are you still carrying that no longer serves you? Is it old habits, old excuses, old self-talk, comfort eating, comfort scrolling? Maybe you're avoiding because that's comfortable to you, so you don't bring up unnecessary weight. You don't bring unnecessary weight into a race, so why would you bring it into the new year? Number 3, recommit. 1 priority, not 10. There are 4 different areas in your life, and you are going to pick 1 priority for each one of those. Your fitness, your relationships, your business and finance, and your faith. What 1 thing in each one of those areas, if you did consistently for the next 30 days, would change your trajectory? Because freedom isn't built by doing more. It's built by doing what actually matters and doing it consistently. And to go along with that framework, it is time for the Freedom Challenge of the week. Tonight, after the kids go to bed, or tomorrow morning before they wake up, write down the answers to these 3 questions for each of the 4 areas of your life: your fitness, your faith, your relationships, and your business and finance. Where did I choose comfort over growth this year? What did it cost me? What is 1 action that I will take in the next 48 hours to break that pattern? Then, this is the most important part. Take a small action before the new year. Maybe it's a workout. Maybe you're going for a walk. Maybe it's a hard conversation. Maybe it's an early morning. Because action helps lock in the identity and the decision. And the identity that builds on that decision helps build your freedom. If today is quiet for you, good, use it. If today is loud, maybe you find a moment where you can break away and get some quiet time. Because Christmas isn't about remembering what was given to you. It's about deciding what you're willing to build, what you're actually willing to make happen. Freedom doesn't come wrapped up in a gift that comes under your tree. It's forged through discomfort, honesty, through reps that you don't get applause for, through those small, dedicated decisions and persistence on a day-to-day basis. So enjoy today. Enjoy tomorrow. Enjoy the time that you spend with the people in your life. Enjoy some of the food. Rest your body. But don't lie to yourself, because the person you become next year is decided by what you tolerate today. And remember, freedom isn't found, it's built 1 rep at a time. Merry Christmas, everybody. Now go build, and I will catch you guys on the next one.